Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug. Long boys blues, 1975.
Welcome to another arcade versus home. In this video I'll be taking a look at the original incarnation of Street Fighter 2, otherwise known as Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior, released in arcades by Capcom in 1991. I don't even know why I'm explaining the setup. Pretty sure, you know, there are indigenous tribes in the middle of a rainforest that have never been touched by man that have a Street Fighter 2 cabinet of some form. It's a sequel to the original Street Fighter 1, which was an interesting but ultimately flawed game. I have a comparison video of that against the PC Engine version, but it led to this. That was in 1987, this was in 1991, and I'm doing this because, I mean, I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter games for these conversion videos, a lot more technically better, brilliant, more rounded, more skillful, better looking, better sounding, better all-round versions of Street Fighter, but this is a very, very, very important one. Not just because of what it did to fighting games in the arcades back in the day. It revolutionized them. It's safe to say, you know, and this word is used a lot, you know, like groundbreaking, or words, but this changed everything. Other companies were like playing catch up for years and years and years. None of this. No SNK fighters. No, you know, none of this. No Mortal Kombat. It simply is that big a deal. Now, why am I doing this series? Because, well, back in the day, 1 year later, it got ported to the Super Famicom, you know, and the SNES and the PAL SNES, and yeah, it was an absolute killer app. It was a system seller. It sold 6.5 million copies on the SNES. Those are figures that you just cannot sniff at. And yeah, it became a packing game. It was just, you know, and it was one of those games as well, watching this series, the magazines. I'm looking at you, Mean Machines, I really am. I still remember the double-page spread review of it, and you did say it was arcade perfect. It's an absolutely stunning arcade perfect port of Street Fighter 2, running on your Super Famicom, down to the last detail, the bonus stages and everything, and 2 players. It's amazing. Now, it's incredibly crude by current ones, you know, it's not brilliantly balanced, it's quite slow, the combo, I mean, loads of moves and combos have been added since this, but also there was nothing else like this. 6-button fighting game, you know, weak punch, medium punch, strong punch, rinse and repeat with the kick as well, and all the characters, you know, fleshed out with stories and stuff like that, looking completely different apart from Ken and Ryu, or as we all called it back in the day, Ryu. And I'll talk more about my my SNES, or well, no, Super. I wouldn't touch a PAL SNES. It was someone else's wallet. My Super Famicom memories of it, but I had to do this because it's a really, really big deal. Regardless of how many more advanced versions of Street Fighter I have played, I'm playing this on my modded Xbox. So if you see me talk about any Street Fighter games on this, it's a really weird layout with the buttons, and Dragon Punches are thumb rapey at best. But anyway, enough excuses already. Look at it. See, this to me still blows my mind for a game that's 30 years old. Almost 30 years old. You know what I mean, right? Yeah! I remember when it first came out, no one quite knew what they were saying, and there were so many different variations of kids trying to say Hadouken, Hadouken, Nyoken, because we were kids and stupid. Ken's my favourite character, but I always went with Ryu on this one, because Ken doesn't have his flaming dragon punch. Criminal. I mean, these are... I always preferred it, as most people did, when it went to the kind of anime-style pictures of the characters. But these were still, you know, mind-blowing back in the day. And the number of frames of animation, moves available, even if some of the combos weren't there and the speed wasn't there, was absolutely fantastic as well. Oh, look, 3 elephants. Lovely. Hey, the elephant in the room. Sorry. Lovely parallels. I'm not such a fan of the constant... I was going to say meowing. And what is an elephant when it roars? Bellows? I don't know. But no, the elephant's got a spittoon. But anyway, sorry, off topic. No, it still looks fantastic. I'm not sure why there's a draft coming through right now, but yeah. Nothing came close. I'm trying to think of other fighting games at the time. Those blatantly Dragon Punch was like, you know, blatant awkward move me then. Wow. Are we learning yet? He clearly is. I hate Dowson, but there's no denying that he's probably the best character to learn for just being able to frustrate, particularly in this version, frustrate people from a distance. And he can levitate, so clearly he's an X-Man. Right, we'll try a different kick. No, we won't. We'll try. Dragon Punch. That works. That doesn't. Weird. I just cannot Dragon Punch on this pad, but it's not about my piss poor Street Fighter skills. It's about just taking it in. Look at it. What a game changer. I'd love to know your memories of the first time you experienced it. In fact, that's an interesting story. I'm not clearing my throat because it's an interesting story. I'm clearing my throat because I've just had breakfast. I never got to play this in England for the first time I ever got to play it. We went on holiday. sorry. Fish finger sandwiches, they'll do that to you. We went on holiday to Boston in 1991 to stay with my dad's brother who emigrated in the 60s, and my dad just got back in touch with. And he used to take us to lunch most days to his favourite kind of bar diner. It was right over the road from a mall as well. That was a brand new experience, seeing, you know, Mega Drive and, you know, Super Nintendo games, and buying some as well, because obviously I could run them on mine. Yeah, and you know, just experiencing American more compared to what we had back here, back in the day, 1991. But it's not really a video about that. It's not a memories video. I've done my memories video if you're interested in my nostalgic series on first time in the States. But yeah, it used to take this place called the Winner's Circle. I don't know if it's still there. I hope it is, because their burgers, their you know, bar food was amazing. You know, so there was a bar, but it was set up for kids as well, not just for adults. And the bar had a big projection screen. Where they used to show, I forget what channel, but it's a classic channel because I had to be careful what they would show. There were pool tables there as well, and used to show episodes of the Munsters and stuff like that, and we loved it. But we also loved the fact that it wasn't a full arcade, but they did have a couple of arcade machines, and they had the Simpsons arcade machine. They had Mad Dog McCree, which was the first time I ever saw that. That was impressive. I played that loads. I was absolutely shit at it, much like I am at this. They had a Turtles machine, and I can't remember what else they had, but they had a Street Fighter 2 machine. It was the first time I ever played it, and I fell in love with it. It was mind-blowing. I knew it was a thing, you know, I really did know it was a thing, but I never seen a cabinet, and I played it loads, but I was shit at it, and to this day, same thing. I'm not very good. I cannot play this with a D-pad, cannot play arcade Street Fighter games with a joystick. But yeah, that absolutely blew me away. And then when we came back to the United Kingdom, I did eventually get to see it over here, over this side of the pond, because obviously it was out over here, and yeah, carried on playing it, carried on sucking at it, and then the rumour mill started going that the only system that was potentially powerful enough to do it was the Super Nintendo, or at this point we knew that it was coming out on the Super Famicom first, and yeah, it was absolutely, you know, it was just, everyone was drooling and like, you know, wait, no Mega Drive version? Apparently that couldn't handle it. We know now that that's pish because it came out on the Mega Drive, but yeah, that few games set the kind of excitement level that this did, knowing it was coming out, you know, on the home systems. Awkward pauses! Where's the... That's it, that one. There's the black and white lines at the bottom. I don't like them. I love that. Anyway, let's jump into the Super Famicom version, which I will be playing on my Super Boy. My God, there were awkward pauses in this first half of this video. So here we go with Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior, running on the Super Famicom, released by Capcom in 1992. Released in Japan in June of 92, and North America and Europe in July 92. So, you know, pretty close together release dates for a change, but I think it was safe to say that they knew that this was going to sell systems, so they had to get it out in all regions as quickly as possible. Now, I obviously, as you know, had a Super Famicom back in the day. The comparison of this video is going to be a bit kind of all over the shop, because I'm not going to lie, I love my Super Boy, but when you play TV out as opposed to the screen, it's not the greatest signal ever, and also it does 16:9 on the TV, TV doesn't let you choose 4x3, but hey, you know, I love my Superboy. Bite me. But anyway, yeah, so back in the day, in 1992, I really wanted it. And I got it when we'd broken up for summer holidays, and my God, was I popular that summer holidays. And I imported it from the back of Mean Machines in a black and white advert from Japan for £75 in 1992. I had 3 jobs. I worked a Friday night in a pub, in the kitchen and waiting on tables. I worked Saturday morning in my dad's garage helping with MOTs and sweeping up, and Sunday lunchtime washing up at a pub. So, you know, 75 quid sounds a lot of money. I was pretty flashed with cash back then, you know, as a kid. But yeah, so I ordered it. I didn't tell my parents how much it cost, because they would have flat out refused, even though it was my money. So you can't spend that much money on a video game. And it took a couple of weeks, which felt like forever, and it came in the absolute... I love Super Famicom cases. They're like North American VCR cases, you know, they're upright as opposed to sort of wide, if that makes sense. And yeah, still cardboard, and yeah, it was a kind of anime style cover, and it, you know, yellow box art, and it looked absolutely fantastic. And my mates didn't really know what it was. My schoolmates, kind of guys I hung out with and hung out with when it was the summer holidays, and they just wanted to play it because they were like big Van Damme and Jackie Chan fans. And the fact that there was this fighting game that allowed you to have 6 buttons, you know, that multiple punches and kicks and stuff, means they were absolutely sold. And also, no one else had this game. I was literally the first person in my school to have it, and it was the Japanese version, so it was 60 Hz and it was full screen. I mean, the North American version is as good as the Japanese one. Obviously, it has the redone names, we'll get to that, but the PAL one, oh my God. I first saw it running on my brother's PAL SNES back in the day, and when it was that slow and that bordered, I thought there was something wrong with its copy. I thought it was a duff copy. I mean, I never really knew how shit PAL was, because my Mega Drive was also Japanese, as of my Super Famicom, so I only, because it was RGB modded, only experienced 60 Hz goodness. But anyway, we used to play tournaments. Let's get into this. I've set the controls up. We used to play tournaments in my bedroom. Winner stays on. There used to be like 4 of us sat. I was in a box room, so the matches were just on the floor in front of my TV, and we played it all summer for hours and hours and hours, slowly getting rickets and basically our eyes becoming blind from the lack of real quality light in there. So as I said, I didn't mention the arcade, there are only 8 characters and you don't get to fight the bosses. They fixed that in the next iteration. Gonna go with Ryu. The colours will take a hit in this, but also because it's the TV out in this unit, it's pans. But yeah, but remember what I said, everyone said it was arcade perfect. Remember the elephant in the room, that's a good one. Anyway, let's get into it. Gotta be careful playing on the Superboy, because I'm jacked into my TV now, so I don't really, you know, lose my shit or shake it or move it around and stuff. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. See, the thing is, back in the day, that you used to, you know, your oh, I think it's reset. Oh, it's reset the controls. Oh shit, bollocks! I don't like having hard on the shoulder buttons. Sexy. Yeah. That's my fault, because it loaded it into memory and I pressed reset to see if it stayed in there. You don't need to know that. But yeah, if you didn't have, or didn't live in a seaside town, you wouldn't have continuous access to arcade machines. So unless you had a photographic memory, you know, the gaps between you playing it and then coming home and playing this version, you, to the untrained eye, I mean, we did all think it was arcade perfect. We really did. I mean, it's only now when I call bullshit on, oh sexy, I call bullshit on Mean Machine for saying it was arcade perfect. It's only now, a few years later, you know, when I started playing for emulation. But back then when we first got it, we were like, you know, who wants to come around my house and play an arcade perfect version of Street Fighter 2? World Warrior. It's not, but bloody hell, compared to every other game on the SNES at this point. And like I said, I cannot tell you what system seller it was when it became a pack-in game. Yeah, it was, nothing could touch this, nothing could touch it. The sprites, they're smaller than the arcade. Obviously, there's less colours and there's less animation, but compared to everything else, they were fantastic. I mean, even though everyone said, like, there's no way, you know, anything but... We used to call it, like, we used to like him because he was basically Van Damme, and then we called it because Van Damme played him in the movies. But yeah, there was no way, when he said no way any other console could do it, you know, let's be honest, that the SNES was never going to do an arcade perfect version. You'd have to be a simpleton back in the day to think it was. But my God, it looks fine. It's... If you put them side by side, it's quite far off. If you play them, you know, back to back, it's weird. It's not. I can't. All I can say is, like, you know, it's not arcade perfect. It was never going to be arcade perfect. But to deliver a port this good and this close on the hardware, this limited compared, 2D arcade is mind-blowing. Like I said, if you never, I mean, if you're not old like me, of my superior vintage generation, cannot tell you what a big deal how good this port was when it came out. And yes, it eventually came out on the Mega Drive, you know, not this version, you know, speeded up versions and stuff like that, and Super Street Fighter 2, the new challenges, which is my favourite iteration. Actually, no, my favourite is the 3DO version, but yeah, you know, that blew out the water that you couldn't do it on a Mega Drive and stuff like that. I mean, it took some hits and stuff, but I mean, people prefer some of them over the other ones. It's a personal thing, isn't it? But this, the Mega Drive graphically still doesn't look as good as this. I had a mate who could play like a right bitch with him. I mean, I'd love to know what your memories are with it. Did you get the PAL one? Was it awful? Was that all you could have? Or were you like me? Did you import a Japanese one or import a North American one? I mean, particularly if you're back in the day, if you were in North America, you wouldn't have known how we got absolutely shafted with non-optimized PAL versions of games. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Oh, I'm getting lost in the world of nostalgia and just talking a massive amount of bollocks. But yeah. But look, like I said, the size of the sprites, the animation, which takes a hit to the arcade, there was nothing else like it. And to be honest, as big a deal as Mortal Kombat was on this, I don't think it. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Mortal Kombat, but I don't think it touched this. Come on. Oh, cheap shot. Cheap slap. See what I did there? There must be something in the Steam because the background colours are alive, man. Let's change our character. Now, obviously, the Japanese version have different names for the bosses because M. Bison was originally going to be the name of the boxer, Barrow. But they, because basically it was based on Tyson. I mean, you all know this. He was based on Tyson. But then because of you know, like the rape allegations and stuff like that, and because you know, confusion about whether Nintendo still had the rights to it or stuff, they thought, let's not risk it. Let's change it. So you know, M. Bison became Raul Julia. Can she wall jump in this one? Yes, that changes everything. Cheap hits! She's king of cheap hits. But yeah, that is one of my fondest memories. I was going to do a nostalgic video, memories of it, you know, the best summer holidays. But I was going to say, why am I trying to do a fireball? Wrong bloody game. But yeah, I cannot tell you how good that summer holiday was when we just spent all summer sat. Well, that's not entirely true. We still play football and stuff like that because it took a football game for me to tell everyone, guess what I've got? Guess what I've got on a console you don't even know what it is or even own, and a game that you don't even know what it is or even own. That's right, come around my house and let's kick 2 tons of shit out of each other. Oh, good times, good times. Awkward pauses again, but yeah. I'm going to sum it up here. Do you know what? It's far from arcade perfect. We know that. It was never going to be arcade perfect. And yes, my combo skills are shit. But my God, this is one of the best arcade ports on the Super Famicom, on the SNES. It's groundbreaking. Like I said, it sold ridiculously. And rightly so, and absolutely rightly so. So anyway, sorry I've been a bit all over the shop in this video, but I'd love to know. That's why I had to put it in there, because the importance of this home port, and obviously the importance of the original, you know, the first version of Street Fighter 2, and how far it's come. It's such a big deal. But as always, I'd love to know what you think. I mean, like, whatever version you had and whatever territory you had, you know, tell me your stories. And thank you very much for watching. And, can I just kill him? I want to kill him now. No! All he's going to do is he got his... Yay! Yeah! Has he got his, move forward across the screen thing? I'm going to shut up now, but yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.